Have you ever made a mistake so big it haunted you for the rest of your life? That's the devastating heart of the movie Atonement. Get ready because this story is an emotional roller coaster. Our journey begins in the summer of 1935 on a sprawling English country estate. We meet Briony Tallis, a 13-year-old girl with a vivid imagination and a passion for writing plays. She sees the world through the lens of stories she creates, often blurring the line between fantasy and reality. Living in the same house are her older sister, Cecilia and Robbie Turner. Cecilia is a recent Cambridge graduate, feeling a bit lost and restless. Robbie is the son of the family's housekeeper, a brilliant young man also fresh from Cambridge, whose education was funded by the Tallis family. He has dreams of becoming a doctor. There's an undeniable, simmering tension between Cecilia and Robbie. It's that classic mix of unspoken feelings and social class differences. Briony, ever the observer, watches them closely, but she doesn't understand the complex emotions of adults. She sees fragments of their interactions and interprets them through her own dramatic black and white worldview. The day unfolds with a series of fateful events. First, Briony witnesses a strange, tense moment between Cecilia and Robbie by a fountain. Cecilia strips down to her undergarments and plunges into the water to retrieve a broken piece of a vase, all while Robbie watches. To Briony's young eyes, this looks like an act of aggression, a strange, menacing power play. She doesn't see the passion and frustration bubbling just beneath the surface. Later, Robbie decides to write an apology note to Cecilia. He types a formal, proper one, but then, on a whim, he also types a much more explicit, passionate draft, detailing his desires. In a catastrophic mix-up, he accidentally gives the wrong note to Briony to deliver to her sister. Of course, Briony reads it. The note's adult content shocks and confuses her, further cementing her suspicion that Robbie is some kind of dangerous deviant. Her imagination runs wild, painting him as a villain straight out of one of her stories. That evening, the situation escalates. Looking for her cousins who have run away, Briony walks through the darkened grounds and stumbles upon Cecilia and Robbie in the library. They are in the middle of a passionate, consensual encounter. But Briony, with her mind already poisoned by suspicion, sees only an assault. She sees her sister pinned against a bookshelf and believes she is witnessing a terrible crime. The reality of their mutual desire is completely lost on her. She sees what her imagination has already decided is true. This is the point of no return. Later that night, a real crime occurs. Briony's visiting cousin, Lola, is assaulted in the dark by an unknown man. When the commotion starts, Briony, armed with her evidence and her wild misinterpretations, steps forward and confidently identifies the attacker. She names Robbie Turner. She saw him, she says. It was him. Her older sister Cecilia, who knows the truth about her relationship with Robbie, frantically defends him, but no one listens to a hysterical woman over the calm, certain testimony of a child. Briony's word is taken as fact. Robbie, the promising young man with a future as a doctor, is arrested and taken away, his life shattered in an instant. The real attacker, a wealthy family acquaintance named Paul Marshall, walks away free. The film then jumps forward several years. It's now World War II. Robbie has been released from prison on the condition that he enlists in the army. We follow him through the horrors of the Dunkirk evacuation in France. He's haunted, broken, and desperately clinging to the memory of Cecilia and the hope of one day clearing his name. His letters to Cecilia are his lifeline, filled with promises of their reunion. I will return, he writes, find you, love you, marry you, and live without shame. Meanwhile, Cecilia has completely cut off her family, especially Briony, whom she can never forgive. She has become a nurse in London, tending to wounded soldiers. She waits for Robbie, holding on to the same fragile hope that fuels him. Their love, once a spark of possibility, is now the only thing keeping them both alive in a world torn apart by war and lies. And what about Briony? She is now 18 years old. Racked with guilt, she has abandoned her place at Cambridge, and like her sister, has become a trainee nurse in London. It's a grueling, disciplined life, perhaps a form of self-punishment for her terrible mistake. She finally understands the gravity of what she did as a child. The black and white world of her youth has dissolved into agonizing shades of gray. She realizes her childish imagination and certainty destroyed multiple lives. She tries to write, to confess, but words feel inadequate. One day, she works up the courage to visit Cecilia. In a tense and heartbreaking scene, she finds her sister living in a small apartment. And then the door opens and Robbie's there. He's on a brief leave from the army. The reunion Briony has so desperately wanted is raw and painful. Robbie is furious, filled with rage at the woman who stole his life. Cecilia is cold and unforgiving. Briony confesses everything. She admits she knew the real attacker was Paul Marshall and promises to go to the authorities to set the record straight, to finally give them back their lives. Cecilia and Robbie tell her to leave. As she goes, they give her strict instructions on what she must do to begin her atonement. There's a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, things can be fixed. But then the movie delivers its final soul-crushing twist. We flash forward decades into the future. Briony is now an elderly, celebrated novelist. She is giving a television interview about her final book titled Atonement. She reveals that the entire reunion scene we just witnessed between her, Cecilia, and Robbie never happened. It was a fiction she created for her novel. The devastating truth is that Robbie never returned from Dunkirk. He died of septicemia on the beach while waiting for evacuation. Cecilia died a few months later, a victim of the bombing of a London underground station during the Blitz. They never saw each other again. They never had their life together. The happy ending, the reunion, the chance for forgiveness, it was all a fabrication. A final act of imagination from the woman who started it all with a story. Briony explains that she wrote this fictional reunion to give them the happiness they were denied in real life. In her book, she could give them their lives back. It was her way of atoning, her final, desperate act of kindness. But it's a hollow victory. She admits that no amount of storytelling can ever change the cruel reality or wash away her guilt. The lovers remain separated by her lie, and she is left to live with the consequences forever. The film ends with a beautiful, tragic shot of Cecilia and Robbie on the beach, happy and together, a dream of what could have been, forever preserved in Briony's fiction and in our memory. It's a powerful reminder of the lasting impact of our actions and the haunting nature of a lie. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into unforgettable films. See you next time.